Valentine's Day is fast approaching and you need to show some effort this year. However, in 2025, everything is drastically more expensive than it used to be. I dread how much a fancy steak dinner at a good restaurant would cost me if I were to take someone out this year. So I'm going to show you how you can impress somebody with your culinary skills and save a little bit of money by making your own fancy steak dinner at home. Because knowing how to cook, regardless of who you are, is very attractive. This recipe is going to be budget conscious, but it's not going to be the cheapest of the cheapest things you can possibly make. We're going to spend money where it counts, where it matters most, and more importantly, we're going to spend money because whoever you're cooking this for, they better be worth it. So in front of me right now, I have a cut of picanha. This is an up-and-coming cut of beef that's gaining popularity in America. I've cut it up into 3 pieces. You can disregard this piece, that's just excess, and I might give it to Hudson when I'm done cooking it. These are the 2 you need to see. This could feed 1 person, 2 people, depends on how hungry you are for steak. I'm gonna take this baking sheet and I'm gonna put it in my fridge. The steaks are gonna sit in there for 24 hours. During that time, the seasoning is going to penetrate inside the steak, so flavoring it all the way through, and the exterior of the steak is going to dry out, and that's gonna really help us put a good sear on them. And at the stove, we are gonna make some demi-glace or demi-glace, whichever pronunciation is correct. I have a pot, it's got some butter. Let's turn on the heat and start melting. With our butter sizzling, we are gonna add a 1/2 cup of onion, a 1/4 cup of chopped celery, and a 1/4 cup of chopped carrot. And we're gonna let that saute for 6 minutes. At 6 minutes, we are gonna add 28 grams of flour. And you know what? This does not have enough butter to make a proper roux, so I'm going to add a little bit more. And it's not quite there yet, so I'm gonna add a little bit more. Okay, now we are looking like a roux. So I'm gonna stir this constantly until I start to see the beginnings of some brown color. Okay, we have this at a light brown goldish color, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn the heat off. I'm gonna add 3 cups total of beef broth. This is our beef broth from the bull shot episode. I'm also gonna add 2 tablespoons of tomato sauce, and I'm gonna stir it until I am sure that there are no clumps. I'm gonna take a little cut of cheesecloth. I'm gonna put in 4 sprigs of parsley, 4 sprigs of thyme, 2 small bay leaves, 7 or 8 peppercorns, and then as carefully as I can, I'm gonna bunch these up. They may fight me. Make a little basket. I'm gonna take some butcher's twine, and I'm going to tie this little baggie closed. There you go, little bunny ears on it, and I'm gonna plop it inside the pot. I'm gonna push that bag down a little bit, and then for the next 30 to 40 minutes, I'm gonna check on this sauce, stir it every now and then we'll see what we end up with. And after that time is up and I strained it through, this is what we are looking at. It's not the darkest Espagnole sauce, and I did have to thicken it up just a little bit with some extra flour while I was cooking it, but it tastes pretty good on its own. That being said, we're about to mix this together with a lot more stuff, so we won't be consuming it like this. Well, that's very good. I love how that tastes. Last step of the night. We are gonna take this sauce, put it back into the pot from whence it came, now that it's been strained all the way. We are gonna add in 3 cups of beef broth again. Then I'm gonna add a 1/2 cup of fortified wine. This is Marsala wine. You could use a French wine, that would be more proper, but Marsala wine is what I had, so that's what I'm gonna use. And then we need to make a pouch again. This is almost the same as the last one. It's 5 sprigs of thyme, 5 sprigs of parsley, 2 bay leaves, and then a green onion, almost a whole green onion. The recipe called for a leek leaf, but I don't have leeks, but I did have green onion, and the flavor is somewhat the same. So let's go ahead and bag this up. Add our little bag, and then we are gonna let this reduce by half. The prefix demi in demi-glace means half, and that's why it's called demi-glace. We're gonna let this reduce by half. When we're about 3.5 cups, it'll be done. That might take anywhere from an hour to 2 hours, so we're just gonna check on it, stir it, and wait till it's done. I reduced this down by more than half, actually. I'm below 2 cups because it wasn't thick enough when it was down to half, but now it is definitely thick enough. Given all of the things that I have done to the sauce, I cannot call it demi-glace, demi-gloss. I would make a lot of French people, all of the French people, very upset, I would say. Because I've been, freeballing it and a couple of things haven't gone according to plan. It does taste really good. Like, as a sauce, it tastes very good. It is missing some depth, though. I'm gonna adjust this. I'm gonna add some Worcestershire, just a little bit. And I'm gonna add just a tiny little bit of dark soy sauce. That alone had a big impact on the color. Let me give it a try now. Okay, now that is very good. So I'm gonna call this a sauce made in the style of demi-glace, but it's not demi-glace. Next day, and hey, we're trying out a new camera angle. Let's see if this allows me to catch action better around the stove. So, I got a potato here. Let's go ahead and peel it. I got a big one here. Is this thing planted near a nuclear power plant? And after peeling, I cut up about half into these large chunks. This is about the size that we want. Now, I'm gonna get a pot of water boiling on the stove. With the water boiling, I'm gonna place the potatoes into it and set this off on another burner. Now, let's come back to our steaks. They have been sitting overnight in the fridge. We are gonna put these in the oven and we are gonna cook them until they reach 115. I'm gonna use this thermometer here and see if I can just kind of spear it through the center. These two steaks are about equal size, so I don't think I need to put a thermometer in this one. Let's put it in the oven until we hit 115. After 12 minutes, the potatoes have become soft and fluffy, so I'm going to take them and I'm going to strain them out. And you can get an up-close look. They are almost falling apart. They look fluffy on the outside. That's what we're looking for. Take a cast iron skillet. Take some duck fat. Put some big scoops in there. Heat this up. Starting to see some smoke come off the duck fat, so I'm gonna go ahead and add the potatoes. While you're doing this, keep an eye on your steaks, watch them for temperature, and keep your seasoning for these potatoes close by. Use this downtime opportunity to heat up your sauce. Our potatoes are looking golden and lovely, and our steaks are almost done, so perfect timing. Immediately salt them. Oh, there's my steak timer. Add some garlic powder. Give them a little sprinkling of parsley. I'm gonna take these potatoes, put them over there. I'm actually gonna put these in my still warm oven to keep it warm for just a little bit. With a newly wiped cast iron skillet, you are gonna wanna open up the windows in your house, set your AC fan if you can, because we are gonna get this skillet incredibly hot. All right, this skillet is hot. Real quick, I wanna show you just how dried out these steaks have become. Now, I'm gonna roast the fat cap side down first. Oh, you can see that smoke. Here we go. My God, look at the smoke. All right, let's knock it over. There we go. It only needs about 30 seconds on each side. I'm gonna add in one more. This one right here is done. And this one right here is also done. And look at that fat cap right there. With the heat off, but with the pan still hot, get butter, 2 cloves of garlic, 2 sprigs of thyme, and a little bit of rosemary. Very quickly, put the steaks inside. We're gonna do our best to butter baste this steak. The great thing about a reverse seared steak is that you can cut into it immediately. You don't need to rest it. I'm gonna do my best to cut this steak on a bias to see if I can get things to look kind of pretty. There we go. And there we go, perfect edge to edge. It's probably going from medium rare into medium, but it still looks lovely and red in the middle. Now, we take our plate of potatoes that has been sitting in the oven, keeping warm. We add our slices of steak and just arrange them in any way you can to make it look pretty. Take a spoonful of our sauce. And with some extra pieces for me and my dog, that right there is our steak dinner. Okay, it took me a little while to get things set up, but let's finally try these potatoes. Okay, they've been sitting out for a little bit while I got everything set up, but they still got some crunch to them. And ones like these, I'm guessing are extra crispy. I'm so happy. All right, enough fooling around. Let's try the real thing. It's tender, it's flavored, it's well cooked, has a good crust. This sauce is amazing. Me personally, if I make the sauce again, I might add a little bit of some sauteed mushrooms. Ooh, this absolutely would impress a date. And if you have more time, you can go a little bit further. Maybe you can make a nice salad beforehand. I mean, listen, salad definitely isn't the star of the show, but you can definitely impress somebody with some salad. I hope this is something you can do this upcoming Valentine's Day. And I hope it pays off somehow. All right, as per usual, I'm gonna finish this up. Until we see each other again, go cook something amazing, and I will see you next time. Okay, Hudson, you can't have too much of this because it has garlic on it, but you can definitely have this little piece right here. And here's for being my Valentine this Valentine's Day. There you go, boy. Oh yeah, delicious? Oh, I think that's a yes.